And the latest in generative AI art news and photo apps that dominate the market in 2023. It's the Generative AI News Roundup. It's been a great year for AI photo apps, which are dominating the Apple app charts. According to TechCrunch, there were 12.6 million downloads in the first 11 days of December alone. The Lensa AI photo and editing app is the latest AI photo app to go viral because of its amazing creative capabilities and serious concerns about copyright infringement, data privacy, and the sexual exploitation of women and children. It's a huge money spinner for app purchasers and part of a new generation of apps that are turning prompt engineering into productivity and entertainment tools. Lensa AI acts as a middleman between Stable Diffusion and consumers, but if you have enough storage space, you can go straight to SD. It costs $3.99, Prisma Labs. The app generates digital self-portraits and users can upload 10 to 20 self-portrait photographs for free. So it's been all around the internet at the moment and everybody seems to be using it. It's the latest fad. Lensa AI has ruffled feathers in Australia, where artists have accused the application of creative theft. The app uses Stable Diffusion, which is a text-to-image AI that is trained to learn from a data set of online images called LAION 5B and sources billions of images that are scraped from the internet without permission. That's your images, folks. In defense, the company states that Lensa AI applies what it has learned and doesn't directly copy content if it has sourced. Artists have taken to Twitter to refute the showing of numbers of Lensa AI images with the original artist's signature still identifiable. By the way, artists can now opt out of the next version of Stable Diffusion. Well, that's a good thing. In early December, Adobe Stock joined Shutterstock in announcing their official support in compensating artists for image created by AI image generators. Adobe Stock has updated its guidelines to address recent copyright controversy. Users now have to label work as AI generated and as illustrations, not photographs. Users must require permission from original image makers for generated images or tech prompts and need a model release for any recognizable faces. This will deter a large chunk of amateur image makers. You'd think they'd do all this before, before going to market. It's like, any invention that comes out, you should test a certain amount of people, but going straight to market and then having to do all, the horse is already fled. The barn doors are bloody open, and all this copyright that is, that artists are rightfully wondering about. I mean, I expect these terms and conditions to change and evolve when more issues arrive. For this reason, Google's Imagine is waiting to be released to the public until these issues have been ironed out. Well, they're doing the right thing. As I mentioned in a previous article, many of these startups have rushed to market, some without any consultation, without working artists, turning AI-generated art and photo apps into a wild west of copyright and pitting large corporations against individual artists. After all of this controversy, Prisma AI has had to move fast and updated its privacy policy and terms and conditions. Make sure you read carefully. There is what is called the company license that grants the rights to use your data, although it hastens to add that users retain rights to their content, or you can email the company to remove your data. Artists rebels and say no to AI generative art on ArtStation. The art social platform is a place for creatives and games in films, entertainment and media. Their say no to AI generated images statement has been posted by artists who have been increasingly skeptical about the lack of artist protection and copyright, and rightly so. ArtStation has accepted AI generative art on its platform to be featured on the Explore page. They have defended their decision with a public statement on their FAQ page, where they state that they don't want to stifle creativity. This comes after Lensa AI had received backlash and artists shared images on social media of their work being used without permission, as I said before. Some with the artist's signature still clearly visible. I mean, the cheek of it. Artists have now never been included in the startup process, and a public boycott has been issued. Lensa AI uses an open source image-to-text model, Stable Diffusion. Alexa AI creates animated stories with Alexa. Children can now choose and create a story and an ending. Looking back at my own childhood, I remember the older I got, the less time my parents had to read me a story, especially I needed to be encouraged to read stories myself, which I did. You can see where I'm going with this. Having an AI available to read stories 24/7 has to have some effect on children's reading ability. Amazon has issued warning cars from its cloud computing division. According to Reuters, Amazon's AI service cars offer corporate clients to understand restrictions based on cloud services such as speech and facial recognition. Amazon aims to control data privacy and improper use and to explain different problems like discrimination, such as AI's racial and gender biases, and has coined the term techno-solutionism to help corporations to better understand or to explain different problems like discrimination, such as AI's racial and gender biases. And finally, China bans unsolicited deepfakes. Deepfake images must be clearly watermarked or labeled as such to combat AI-generated images that are published without permission from the original image maker or human subject. In entertainment news, Disney's news AI Fran and or face re-aging network can change an actor's appearance by turning facial features younger or older. Many of us have used similar aging, or for my generation, de-aging photo apps to remind us how friggin' old our faces have become. There are some serious implications for makeup artists who find some of their services replaced by AI. DeepMind AI creates film and stage scripts, and I don't see the specific art form getting ousted by AI, but I will keep an eye open. As technological innovation goes, these special effects tools are certainly more convincing, especially when it's more difficult to make someone look much younger in films and TV. If it's a generation jump, then using de-aging AI can also replace hiring a younger actor. Biggie Smalls, the late rapper who was gunned down in US by bi-coastal gang wars in 1997, gosh, was it that long ago, has been recreated as an avatar. Holograms are limited because the audience has to sit at an angle in order to see the 3D illusion. The metaverse offers a more realistic, lifelike avatar. Remington Scott, VFX director and founder of Hyperreal, worked with the family and estate of Smalls and used photographs, video, and home footage to recreate Smalls' avatar. His mother wept when she saw the results. And finally, according to MIT, regurgitated AI images forever contaminate the internet. How do we know the AI isn't scraping more AI generative images? Scraping the internet inevitably brings up the dark side of humanity in all its sick, bigoted, and exploitive horror. MIT calls it infected. Biometrics, data, security, permission to scrape your images. Contaminated with images made by artificial intelligence, biases, falsehoods, fake news, and misinformation. It's a wild west. It's going crazy, man. That is all for the news today.